You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Warning, the following broadcast contains adult language, adult content, frank safety discussions, and stories that might sound unbelievable. But believe me, every one of those stories is true. We didn't start the safety war, but we are going to fight to win it. For our families, for our communities, for our workplaces, and for our lives. The Safety War starts now. Welcome to the September 1st, 2022 edition of Safety Wars. We're talking about Disaster Preparation Month, 2022. This month, like we've been doing for the last 5 years in one form or another, I know the podcast just started last year, but before that, with all my clients, I used to do something every year, every day, an email a day, something like that, for Disaster Preparation Month. What are we going to do? We're going to talk about disasters for the whole month, and probably into October if things go well and we get a lot of good feedback. I'm going to start out by saying this. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, if you would like to have topics talked about and discussed on disasters, contact me via social media, whatever platform you're listening on. Send me an email, jim@safetywars.com, or a text message at 845-269-5772. I like to talk about disasters, and I label them in 4 different categories. The first category, and by the way, no one else does this as far as I know, but it's easier for me to discuss and it's easier for you to understand. Number 1, there are 4 different types of disasters. Number 1, 0 to 24 hours. Those are your short-term disasters. Maybe you lost power for the night. Maybe you had a fire in your workplace, fire in your home. Things are back to normal. There was a first aid case. Maybe you had to go to the hospital. Maybe there was a car accident, whatever. That's one type of disaster, 0 to 24. That's managed a lot different than category number 2, which is 24 to 72 or 96 hours, somewhere in that range. That is the disaster that our government tells us, and that's the United States government, we should all be prepared for. Something in that range where there's a disaster, and then you sort of like go and, you're hunkered down for a couple of days, power's out. Then you have category 3, where that's a longer term disaster, between that 72 or 96 hours and 1 month is where I put it at. At 1 month, you're essentially, that's a different level of disaster preparation. You have to be able to have water, food, resources, whatever you need for 30 days. That's probably where most disaster preparation ends, is at 30 days. People are of limited means. And when I say limited means, not necessarily, not only financial, but what if you're living in a New York City apartment or an LA apartment, 600 square foot? You're not going to have 30 days worth of disaster supplies in that apartment so easy. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it ain't going to be so easy. And then you have the category 4, where we all experienced a category 4 disaster. And what was that? That was the lockdowns. You're also talking about primitive living. And because after 30 days, you got some things to handle. You're in the guvno, as we say on this program. So what does that mean? Where are we going with this? Each level of disaster, you're going to need a different level of preparation. Category 1, the real short term. Okay, you have a first aid kit, you have fire extinguishers, maybe you have a fallback location where you could go and, it's pretty short term, it's going to impact you. Same thing with category 2, right? Once you get into category 3, you have to do a lot of preparation, and then you get back to the primitive living / lockdowns. So before we go on any further, what are we talking about as far as disasters? First thing you have to do is define what a disaster is. It's real simple. Disaster could be almost anything. I ask this all the time when I do disaster response worker training. Disaster could be anything. It could be a financial disaster. It could be a food disaster. It could be a water disaster. It could be a weather event. It could be a man-made disaster. It could be a nuclear event from either a nuclear weapon, a dirty bomb, a nuclear accident of some sort. It could be a medical. It could be, for you, if you have a chronic illness, you've been diagnosed with a chronic illness, you've been diagnosed with or a family member also, you've been diagnosed with a life-altering situation. It could be losing your job. It could be many different things that you could have a disaster with, and they all require preparation. But the thing is this, the people start running for disaster preparation stuff real quick. They hoard it. So for example, Superstorm Sandy, we're at I believe it's the 10th anniversary now for Superstorm Sandy in the Northeast. People were not prepared. They never thought something like this would happen like this. And guess what? You couldn't get all different types of supplies. Last year, Hurricane Ida impacted my family with our basement being flooded, and it took a long time for us to recover. In some ways, we still have not recovered because I still have a shed load of stuff that I have to go through. My wife gave me an ultimatum, Mrs. Safety Wars, and she said, hey, I want my garage back, Jimmy. So I had to get everything in there recently. That was fairly recently. We had to load back up and get things going again. So it takes a long time to recover. Today on the news, there was a story where somebody that still has not had any type of recovery meaningful from Hurricane Ida because they met their capacity of what they can handle. They had all different situations going on. So it's important for you to go out there to assess what kind of disaster you could have. You analyze, hey, what am I going to do about it? And 3, we're going to prepare. And then we're going to review it with a small group of people, and maybe in my family, maybe a couple of neighbors. And I think we did a couple weeks ago a story on quarantining information on emergency response for your family, and it could be for your facility also. So we're looking forward to talking about disaster preparation for the month of September. And all of our themes are going to have to deal with disasters unless something else comes up. And that's all I have for our intro, so welcome to the next month of programming. For Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel.
In the professional safety community, communication and planning are just a few keys to your program's success. The question many practitioners have is, where do I start? Dr. Jay Allen, the creator of the Safety FM platform and host of the Rated R Safety Show, has built a global foundation to help you along the way. Go to safetyfm.com and listen to some of the industry's best and most involved professionals, including Blaine Hoffman with the Safety Pro, Sam Goodman with the Hop Nerd, Sheldon Primus with the Safety Consultant, Jim Pozell with Safety Wars, Emily Elrod with Unapologetically Bold, and many others. As individuals, we can do great things, but as a team, we become amazing. Dial into safetyfm.com
The views and opinions expressed
today
on this podcast
and
are those of the host
surround
and its
yourself
guest
with a
and do not
powerful
necessarily
force
reflect
of
the official
knowledge and
policy or
support.
position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.